Welcome to By the Numbers, where with the help of my AI assistant Fanda, we'll analyze the data of your favorite fandoms and then make the data wait 6 hours in a line so they can watch a panel in Hall H.
Get these mother effing snakes off my mother effing motherboard.
In today's San Diego Comic-Con inspired episode, we'll be combing the internet to figure out which person, movie, or company has won SDCC. We're not going to explore the numbers for the convention itself, but it's worth noting that during the 2019 event, 786 Dragon Ball fans got together and broke the Guinness World Record for the largest gathering of Kamehameha attacks. First, we'll take a look at the social media numbers to see which movies got the most mentions and trailer views. Then, Fandom will figure out which movies, TV shows, and franchises benefited the most from their SDCC appearances. Finally, Fandom will decide who or what has won SDCC, and who or what lost. First up, social media numbers and trailer views. Fanda, in 2022, I know that the Wakanda Forever trailer had a wild amount of views in the first 24 hours after it premiered, and I remember not being able to escape social media mentions of Batman v Superman in 2014. Can you pull similar numbers and see which movies got the most mentions?
Scanning.
The most watched trailer to come out of SDCC is the teaser trailer for Wakanda Forever, which pulled in 172 million views in the first 24 hours when it premiered at the convention in 2022. It's less than half what Deadpool and Wolverine pulled in earlier this year with its Super Bowl trailer, but it's better than the 88 million views that the Black Panther trailer had in 2017. Based on Listen First Conversation Score, which uses mentions of films in conjunction with Comic-Con related terms on Twitter, Thor: Love and Thunder has the all-time record for Twitter conversations with 254,156 mentions. After skipping the convention in 2018, the Marvel bosses pulled out all the stops in 2019 when it announced 6 movies and 5 shows. The social media highlight was when Taika Waititi announced that Natalie Portman would be playing a female Thor by handing her Mew Mew on stage. Thor: Love and Thunder narrowly edged out Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, which had 248,960 mentions in 2014. Maybe Zack Snyder should have handed Ben Affleck a kryptonite spear during the panel, or had the audience break the Guinness World Record for most people screaming, "Martha!" What's interesting is that the 6 most mentioned films between 2014 and 2019 have an average year-end box office ranking of number 9, so huge social media mentions at SDCC doesn't guarantee gigantic box office success. However, the average global opening weekend for Wakanda Forever, Batman v Superman, and Love and Thunder is 291 million, so the advance buzz most certainly helped. Next up, Fanda, can you figure out which movies, TV shows, and franchises benefited the most from their SDCC appearances?
Scanning. Displaying results.
42 Entertainment's award-winning Dark Knight marketing campaign at 2007's SDCC gave the film a viral campaign that involved 11,000 $1 bills, 5 jet planes, and hundreds of Jokers walking around San Diego. The campaign won 9 marketing awards, and The Dark Knight went on to become the highest-grossing comic book movie of all time until 2012, and the first comic book movie to gross over $1 billion. Iron Man director Jon Favreau's third time at SDCC proved to be a success when he premiered Iron Man footage in 2007. Up until that point, Favreau said there was zero interest in the film, but after showing a 4-minute sizzle reel to the packed Hall H crowd, he knew he had a hit, and the movie opened up with 201 million globally. From zero interest to a 201 million opening. That's not bad. In 2009, James Cameron premiered 25 minutes of Avatar footage and announced Avatar Day, which put butts in seats to watch 15 minutes of Avatar footage on 102 IMAX screens across the United States. The SDCC panel helped kick off a torrent of popular press and word of mouth from the 6,500 people in Hall H, and hushed most of the doubts surrounding the $237 million budgeted film. The end result is that Avatar became the highest-grossing film of all time by collecting almost $3 billion at the worldwide box office. In 2010, AMC premiered The Walking Dead Season 1 teaser trailer, and later in the year, the first episode broke all of AMC viewer records by grabbing 5.3 million viewers, making it the most-watched program in the channel's history. The bootleg SDCC trailer picked up a lot of press and assuaged people's fears that the guy from Love Actually was going to mess up the Rick Grimes character. After Blade Trinity, X-Men Origins, and Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds' comic book movie track record wasn't great. However, in 2014, Deadpool test footage was screened at SDCC, and it accidentally leaked. This led to vast internet support and the eventual green light for an R-rated Deadpool film that was 11 years in the making. Reynolds praised SDCC guests for making the film happen, and in 2016, Deadpool became the highest-grossing R-rated comic book film until 2018's Deadpool 2 broke the record. Next up, Fanda, can you tell me who or what has won San Diego Comic-Con? What I mean by won is which director, studio, or artist got the biggest boost and utilized fandom the best.
Scanning.
It's Zack Snyder. In 2006, fresh off the success of Dawn of the Dead, Snyder screened footage from his comic book adaptation of Frank Miller's 300 for the capacity crowd in Hall H. The footage was met with so much enthusiasm that he had to play it 3 more times for the rowdy crowd. Various outlets reported that 6,500 people had their minds blown, and the now famous panel laid the groundwork for a $70 million domestic opening weekend and a $456 million worldwide haul, which made it the highest grossing R-rated comic book movie at that time. Another factor that helped 300 is that shortly after the panel, bootleg copies of the footage made its way onto YouTube and were shared all over the internet, which only helped spread the word about Snyder's soon-to-be blockbuster film. In 2007, while talking to the New York Times about SDCC, he said, "There's no place more important for Watchmen than this place." And he was right, as his Watchmen panel, attended by 6,500 people, led to an opening weekend of $55 million. During the 2007 event, he had 2 discussion panels, an autograph signing, 100 interviews, and later that night, 16,000 people showed up to Petco Park to watch a screening of 300. MTV called it the biggest party in the history of SDCC. In 2012, Snyder premiered footage for Man of Steel that made people in Hall H break down in happy tears. It's that good! A year later, the Batman v Superman announcement legitimately sent Hall H into a frenzy. Then, in 2014, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice was the most mentioned film at the convention. In 2017, he wasn't able to attend, but Justice League was the most popular film on Twitter during the convention. Between 2014 and 2019, 4 films that he produced or directed had the most Twitter mentions, and in 2019, fans rallied to get the Snyder Cut of Justice League released. Snyder's fans paid for an airplane with a Release the Snyder Cut banner to fly around San Diego, and they also paid for billboards and posters to be visible around the city. Snyder built his fan base at SDCC, and they helped get the Snyder Cut released in 2021. This isn't SDCC related, but Zack Snyder's Justice League and Army of the Dead are technically Oscar winners, as they won the #OscarsCheers moment and #Oscars Fan Favorite awards, which were announced during the 2022 Academy Awards. Snyder's earnest and energetic appearances at SDCC helped build an army of fans that won him an honorary Oscar for Army of the Dead. I know that people like Kevin Smith, Kevin Feige, Edgar Wright, and the Supernatural cast, they all had great runs at SDCC, but Snyder was able to use it to build a fan base and make films that pulled in boatloads of money. Finally, who's the biggest loser?
Scanning. Scanning. Scanning.
I know Scott Pilgrim vs. the World had a giant presence at SDCC, and it only made $31 million domestically. However, it's gotta be Snakes on a Plane that's the biggest loser. It made more money than Scott Pilgrim with a $34 million domestic haul, but in 2006, Snakes on a Plane became a mega popular internet sensation that was everywhere. 400 people were turned away from the panel in Hall H. And based on the raucous reaction of the 6,500 people in attendance, you'd think Snakes on a Plane would be a hit. It was not. So, when it comes to movies like Scott Pilgrim and Snakes on a Plane, a popular panel does not mean box office success. Thanks again, Fanda. After all your hard work, I volunteered you to work the Hall H lines during the convention. Good luck!
Be sure to like and subscribe.